Being very soon. Hello today I'm going to do a video that a couple of you I think have asked me, and that's how to use cards when you're using spray cans. I personally don't use cans, even though I should, because I use an Astro most of the time, and an Astro is obviously not the thinnest and it doesn't give the best edges. And even though you can use an Astro cap or a fat cap or whatever to do details, say if you want to get really thin line, I've talked about this before. Check out some videos about can control and how to use a can. Basically, I think I've got about 3. You get close, and then you get a thin line this way, and that's all cool. But say you're doing a portrait and you're doing, you want to do maybe the bend around the nose, or you want to, I don't know, like cut the lips, but then you get to like a sharp point. So it's fine if I'm doing this, but if I want to get to a clean stop or like a curved stop, then I've got to do that and then try and angle it this way and do something like that. And then, you know, this bit I got to try and make it a bit pointy and whatnot, which is fine because that's normally what I do. Let's not get paint on my new shoes. It's normally what I do, this kind of stuff, and I'm used to it. But for somebody else that's not used to it, it's not super easy. And even for me, I would benefit from sometimes using cards. But I just like the freehand thing. So say if I wanted to do something kind of like this, you just get some paper. This is, I don't know, probably about 300-400 grams. You want to get something quite thick. This is, I think, Conson paper or Bristol paper is good. You can even use foam boards. Foam boards are pretty cool because they're super rigid. You can do big shapes. The problem is the inside is foam, so as you spray, the foam is gonna, you know, deteriorate. But you can get cards. You can use the even thicker cards. They would be, I don't even know if they're in grams or anything because they're so thick. You know, they're like 1 mil thick. Anyway. So say if you had, if I wanted to do this kind of thing, so a straight line and like a round bit, I could just get cards like this. And do that. So this way, obviously, I get a much sharper job than this. Most of the time, I don't really want this sharpness because it looks fake. If I do a portrait, most of the time it's going to be from the floor to about here. So you want a bit of, you know, if you look at my face, it might not be obvious, but if you look at a magazine, you really stare at it, or just anything in nature, you'll see that most of the lines are blurred. But if you're painting a car or something man-made, then the lines can be sharp. It's obviously easier if you get my second favorite, Skinny Pro, to do that without cards. So if I was to do the same as this, I could just go like that. One thing, when you want to do clean lines, this is, after so many years painting, I don't even think about it, but I always try to remember when I'm teaching people. Whenever you're painting, you want to start moving, start painting, stop painting, carry on moving. So I'm just doing this, but really I'm starting to paint, I stop painting about here, and I carry on moving. So this little spray at the end, I've already lifted my finger, and this is how you get clean lines, as opposed to starting here, then you get this business here. But if you start before, I've actually paused, but if you go like this, then you get a nice, don't worry about the thing, you get an even thing, even spray. So yeah, if I was to do this kind of thing with Skinny, obviously I go nice and close, and then I do that. So, and then if I've got the brownish color, say the brown is great, then I just cut back. So I go, instead of going this way, now I go this way. And then go like that. This is normally what I do. I would prefer doing cutbacks than using cards. But if you want to use cards because you're more comfortable or you need to for that job or whatever, then that's all there is to it. You cut your own shapes. You can get something called French curves. They're plastic, like you normally get a set of 3 different curves. I used to use them at college. They're cool, but the best thing is either get like a cereal box is really cool because that carton thing is quite thick. And most of the time when you're done with this, once you've done your piece, you know, you don't really want to keep them because they're going to get stuck together. You're going to eat more cereals or pizza or whatever, use those like thick carton, cut your shapes, and then you're good. What I would suggest, and that every time I forget, whenever you're cutting a shape, you would tend to keep that one. But that one's really important because when you do the cutbacks and stuff, keep that one. So keep both sides, the negative and the positive, and then you can do whatever shapes that you need to do. I find people that use, we're talking about really good artists, famous and all that, use shapes like that, and their work is crazy good. And you know, so it's not just a beginner's thing, you know, it's just a different way of painting, let's put it that way. I'd prefer to go that route, like the cutback and that, but you might enjoy, you know, doing this kind of stuff. The cool thing as well is, I want to paint this, I can simply do that technique and not worry about this angle here. So I can go like that, and I'm just thinking of that because I know this is going to be sorted by this. It's a bit hard to explain, but when I'm personally doing that kind of thing, I've got to do that and cut back and da-da-da-da. So either you go the route that's a lot of cutbacks, like I do, or you can do this. It speeds up the work, makes everything cleaner, but at the same time, there's a big drawback. When I paint, I've got either my tablet or my phone because I'm cool like that. I look at my whatever, unless I'm doing either a piece, which I don't do so much anymore, or like an abstract, and I just, you know, full on Dali it. But normally I'd be looking at something, so I can go bam, 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 bam. If I've got a card, I need, I don't know, an assistant or third hand or something. Then I'm like, trying to, you know, do this business. I've got to put the phone down and, you know. So for me, it's not ideal. But somebody asked to do a video about it, so I thought I would. So that's pretty much all there is to it. You get some cards that you cut yourself, and then that's it. You just work away. One thing that I would say is just like when you're using masking tape, which is here. And this is definitely true when you're using a brush. But it also works with cans. If you're gonna, like, you know, flood fill this business, it's gonna creep. So what you want to do, whether you're using, okay, I'm not putting it on tight just to prove a point. Say you're using a can or you're using brushes, what you want to do is work away from it. Even though it wasn't tight, that line is perfect. No paint has crept in there. A lot of the time when people use a brush, they'll be going, you know, bam, 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 and then they'll creep underneath. It doesn't work. You want to go away from it. Like that. With cans, it's not as bad, but you want to keep your paint light and you want to go that way. You don't want to go into it. When it comes off, then it's all cool. It's the same with this. If you were to, you know, do all that business, the camera won't pick it up, but then it's, you know, you get a jagged line. So you want to work light. When you work with curves, you want to work light and you want to work away from it. Another thing as well, it might seem obvious, but every time I've used a curve, I've done that. Once you've got one side that you're using, just think that it's going to get wet. It's going to be wet, so you can't use another side. And this is when this comes into play, you know, to keep the reverse. spray can dries in about, that will be dry in about 30 seconds or less. That'll be dry in about a minute. This will take about an hour to dry. So the more you apply paint on your curves, you got to realize that this is going to take a long time to dry. So you can't do that, otherwise even after a while it'll still be like that. And you want to use gloves as well because it's going to stay wet for a long time. But the good thing is because it's cheap and you can get all kinds of paper, prepare a few before you get to your wall. And this is going to be really useful when you're doing say you're doing the eyes. Let's do it that way. But what's going on? So you've got your eyes like this. And you want to get all these lines really nice and sharp. That's when having curves in the reverse is really going to come in handy. And just for this demo, let's make it a bit more obvious. Just for this demo, I cut small curves. But if I was doing this kind of size normal portrait that I do, like 2 meters or something, I would have a lot more shallower angle. So I'll have something about this big. Again, keep the reverse. And then, I'll be able to work with this. Because when you work on big portraits, you are going to need really big curves. And again, if you mess something up, you got the reverse, you can do your cutbacks with it. Now I realize I've messed up the eye a bit. Or something, then bam, do that there. And that's pretty much how you use curves. I hope this was useful to you. If it wasn't, let me know. The next video, many people have been asking me about doing blends and fades, and I will get to the video very soon. I promise, I will do it. But if there's anything else you want to learn about how to use acrylic, spray cans, and how to do murals and all that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments or send me an email and I will get to it. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.